Hello, welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's now time for our newspaper front pages, where you have the opportunity to join in and share your thoughts with us on any of the big stories you want to comment on. Join us for analysis this morning is Mr. Dotun Ojon, Public Affairs Analyst, just fresh from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The last time we spoke with him, he was in our spanking brand new studio. So it would be nice for you to share your experience
in the heart
with us.
Of the Federal Capital City.
The seat of power.
Yes, and one of the things I've said before in this studio is the fact that New Central actually represents what leadership should be in Nigeria. In the last couple of years, I think New Central has actually transformed broadcasting.
Wow.
And I'm really, really proud to be part. Thank you.
I wish I had my ID card here. I would wear it the way Donald Trump wore his FIFA peace prize. To be so proud of this organization. But let's get straight to business. We'll start off with the new Telegraph. Let's try and make use of the time we have. They say make hay
while the sun shines.
Hey! You guys are so predictable.
Who are these men? Oh my goodness.
The headline says, Insecurity, US, Nigeria agree to dismantle terrorist networks, address target killings. We can start from that. Mr. Ojon, haven't seen this. We've seen a delegation of US congressmen come to Nigeria for fact-finding missions. Does it mean that the United States and Donald Trump's threat has fizzled out, that threat of coming in all guns blazing will not happen, and that we've managed to deal with the situation? What's your response?
I think the threat has yielded some positive results that a lot of people are happy about. I'm particularly happy that I'm seeing the commitment of government beyond the campaigns for 2027 that I've always complained about. You cannot have this kind of crisis and politicking will swallow governance. And I think that that threat, as absurd as a lot of people think it was, has been able to put the government on their toes. And I'm seeing that this engagement will further produce more results. And like I've said before, that the problem we have is commitment. We don't have problem of currency. We have enough money to fight terror. It's just putting this money where the money should be. And beyond committing it to security is to ensure that when you commit it to security, that people, the money-carrying members of the military are able to also utilize the money judiciously. I'm happy the fact that we can engage, the fact that they are coming is going to lead to further engagement, and engagement will lead to action.
You said they put them on their toes. Are they really on their toes? Because the reality seems to be different. If you're on your toes, your defense minister, your Minister of State for Defense, will not be observing Lesser Hajj in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia when they're still kids in the bush.
Okay, so the concept...
We went to pray now.
Yeah, the concept of...
non-kinetic means.
The concept of religion is a bit very different in Nigeria, and that's why we need to be very careful. There was a governor who came out to say the other day that for us to be able to defeat banditry and terrorism, we just need to pray. And a lot of people criticize him, but in the mindset of an average Nigerian, what we were taught in religious practice is the fact that prayer can cure everything.
Prayer is the key.
And that's why God created a tree, and man is praying for chair, instead of man to just bring the tree in and saw it down to make a chair. So we have a faulty religious mindset, and it's not about whether you belong here or there. We are all affected by it. Fine, we can do all things, but I think God is alarmed at some point because we rely on him to do some of the things that he has given us the capacity to do. So it's just a general religious mindset. Call it 40, and you will not be wrong.
Okay, let's still just mention that we're taking calls. We're opening the phone lines. If you'd like to call and share your thoughts on, or your opinions or comments on any of these stories, the numbers to call are on your TV screen. You can also go to our YouTube, where we're streaming live via our page, News Central TV Live. We're still looking at the front pages of the paper. Maybe I'll take a few more on the New Telegraph, and then we'll move to another paper. Wike's caretaker committee contempt of courts, according to PDP. SANU threatens strike over marginalization, unpaid 50 billion allowances and other. Oh man.
Everybody has one.
Strike everywhere. You look to the left, NAD is striking. You look to the right, SANU is striking. You look to the back, ASU is threatening strike. Okay.
So I think there's a philosophical saying that the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. And in Nigeria today, there are too many voices of uncomfortable voices of people who think that they've not been rightly treated. And so when you're talking about ASU is getting some amount of money. Sani is saying, where's my own? The non-academic staff union is saying, where's my own? So until we get to a point where certain percentage, reasonable percentage of us believe that Nigeria is fair to us as a country, we'll continue to have some of this strife. And the best way to get to that point is for those who lead us to lead the kind of life we lead, to go through the kind of pain we go through, not to tell us to tighten our belt when they live in opulence. So these are some of the conversations that we need. It will not make sense for somebody to teach somebody in the university, and the person you have taught has not done anything significantly more than what you have done, and the person is taking home the kind of money some of the politicians are taking home. It's not in terms of salary. It's in terms of cutting corner to ensure that you get the process of government to come, the product of the process of government to come directly to your pocket. So I think once we address it, or if we fail to address it from that point, we'll continue to have voices here and there calling for strike, even when we are praying that our people can just do their 4-year course in 3 years.
All right, we have a call from Benue. Dele is calling this morning. Tony. All right. Good morning. Thank you very much for calling from Benue State this morning. Please go ahead with your comment.
We seem
to be struggling with Tony's audio.
Yeah, we can't hear you clearly, Tony.
Okay.
No, not so clear.
Tony, we're so sorry.
Tony, you might have to call us back.
If you can call back, we'll appreciate that. We can't hear your call, unfortunately.
Anyway, let's move on to another story.
But let's take a good news, before we move on to another paper. On the front page of the New Telegraph, good news. Nigeria's foreign reserves hit 6-year high at $45.04 billion.
The good news is, how does it translate to the ordinary Nigerian on the streets?
Yeah, the good news is the fact that when we were in leadership and personal development classes, they always tell us, save money, save money. And at the point we kept asking them, we have saved money. What is the point that we must get to as an individual before we know that, we want to enjoy the money that we have saved? And they told us that at least you must be able to save your 6-month salary. In case anything happens to you at your workplace, you'll be able to at least pay yourself reasonably for 6 months. That philosophy is also for nations. Nations must be able to have what they call a foreign reserve. It's like a buffer. It helps the economy. It helps, number one, the confidence of investor in your economy. Number two, it helps your currency. What we are having today is not a good thing. I was reading the 2026 budget, and I'm alarmed that we are going back. Our projection is that naira to $1 is still above 1,500. It is not. We should be having something like 1,200 at this point. But these are the work of foreign reserve. And the good thing about it is that in the last 1 year, this government has been able to take it reasonably up. And that's why I think it's a good news. Okay. Now, in 1999, when this democracy came back, Obasanjo met it at $5.6 billion. He took it to $51.9 billion before he left power. The man that came after him, what's the name of?
Good luck, Jonathan.
Before Good luck, Jonathan. Yar'Adua met it at 51.9. It was not so good. It came down to 40 billion. Jonathan took it from 40 billion. It came down to 29 point. When he was leaving, it was 29 point something billion. Owing to the fact that, and this is why sometimes you need to be careful about the kind of people that lead you. There was excess money, and there was this excess crude account that was created. We were thinking, people like us were thinking at that point, instead of having this excess crude account, there should have been a legislation that says that every money we got from this excess crude oil should be put back into our foreign reserve. But that did not happen. Governors were on the neck of Jonathan to ensure that they shared this money. And at the end of the day, they shared the money. Our foreign reserve went to 29 billion. And you know why a lot of people are not even keen on saving money? I'm going to cite, I'm going to cite an example of Anambra. Peter Obi in my own opinion, did not do too well in terms of infrastructural development when he was governor. But he did well in terms of saving money. But you know the man that came after him did not also do well in terms of infrastructure, but he did well in terms of stealing money. And the case is in EFCC. He took all the money down. Peter Obi left reasonable amount of money. He took all the money. So any government that comes on board now is not even keen on saving money because they don't know the rascality of the man that's going to come after them, whether it's going to just take all the money. That's why we think that to have grown it, because bad or good, when Buhari was leaving office, we have $36 billion in our foreign reserve. Now that has been moved to 45 billion. I hope that they will continue in this direction. I hope that they will tighten some of these their loose policies that will make this directly benefit Nigeria. And one of the ways to do this is to ensure that you back your currency to a point of stability. As we have now, as we are now, the naira is still not stable enough.
How about the loan factor? Would it not affect it? Because we're also borrowing at an unprecedented level.
Now, it's one thing that I don't understand, honestly. And the bad thing about this foreign reserve also is that when your foreign reserve is going up, people have confidence in you and they want to give you more money. Yeah. So this government now have access to borrowing more money. And they will come on television and say, oh, we have met our revenue target. We have met our revenue target. When you are not MMM. If you have met your revenue target, what are you doing with all of these loans? And Nigerians are not even concerned about the loan. The fear of Nigeria, honestly, I'm not concerned. Because we still have the capacity to borrow more money as government. Yeah. But the fear of people is that when you borrow this money and it goes into private pocket, how does it mean that my children will come now and will pay for money in another person's father's pocket? That's where the issue is. So we should drive our economy in a way that, like you have said, we should not concentrate just more on the figure alone. We must pay attention to the feeling of the people.
All right, let's take a caller. We have a caller who's calling us from Abuja. Caller, hello, good morning.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Udo. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you, Mr. Very exciting analysis of Nigerian politics. I don't know whether you talk about this to impact regime. I don't know whether you talk about that. I want you people to discuss that.
We're struggling to hear you, though.
Sorry, we just might have to see if you can call back again. We're struggling to hear you. We hope that it's not a network connectivity issues, even though we know the telcos have had issues this past weekend. I don't know who has experienced it, but please try and call us back if you can, please. I think I was asking a question. Well, let's go to another paper. Nigerian Tribune. Now, this is a big one. No. Insecurity. Miners tackle northern governors, reject call for ban on mining. When the northern state governors met last week, part of the communique mentioned that there should be a ban on mining for 6 months. They traced the mining to the heightened insecurity that you find in the northern region. Yes. And we've also heard rumors, Mr. Dotun Ojon, you'd agree with me, there are rumors that there are people who come from other countries who come to take over. In short, one of the foreigners went ahead to put a video up on social media, especially on TikTok, and that video trended where he was showing where he was somewhere in the north, and Nigerians were saying, oh, wait, oh, wow, this is the same place where you have killings and insecurity, but you're flying in and flying out with helicopters. Yes. He did a full video. I wish I had saved that video. I saw it like twice that same day. And you were doing your business. You have the northern children mining and so on, and the people were like, wow, how pathetic this is. Now, the northern governors have said, listen, we think it's high time we put a ban on mining. If we do, they believe that it would strongly bring an end to insecurity. But here you are, miners. Miners are tackling it and saying, no, they don't want.
Okay, so across Africa, our blessing has become a burden. If you study the history of growth in Africa, you see that anywhere some of these natural resources are found, you always see conflict, you always see fight, you always see all of that. But the truth is this. In Nigeria, we have also identified the fact that there's a strong link between access to these mineral resources and access to fund that is backing terrorism. So, in other words, what that means is that terrorists have access to funds because they have access to these mineral resources. But here is the issue. If you ban mining for 6 months, you have given a direct certificate of operation to bandits to operate. What do I mean? If you say everybody should leave site, the legitimate miners will leave site. How do you ensure that the bandits don't come to mine? Because the problem we have now presently is inability to secure our land. So when you say you are banning mining for 6 months, the legitimate miners will leave.
You're throwing away the baby in the bathwater. But let's take this call from Jonathan from Imo State, not Jonathan Hansen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
Yes, go ahead and make your contribution, please.
My take is on this miners. How much is the government to be formed to prove how much that Nigeria gets from this mine is not? Because crude oil prices, this property. How much does the government of Nigeria get from this mine? How much do this mine? This is one of the reasons this is the one forest intervention so that they will not be exposed. What do the mining? What there? I think the funds. Which are issues the government to address. This are last time. Against they are against the government. This is miners who are this, and where are these funds go? That's very much.
Thank you.
All right.
I do think that there's a bit of an issue with
Yeah, I
what
think he
you
was
to do.
asking how much does the government get from this mining and so on. That's what he was trying to highlight. But
Yeah, but is the mining sector not highly regulated? I mean, you have mine ranges even that have been constituted by the Ministry of Mining with Mr. Dele Alake as the minister there. So why do we have this knee-jerk approach that you have to throw away the baby at the bathwater?
Okay, so the same issue we have in the Niger Delta, when at a point almost half of the crude oil that we're supposed to have access to in Nigeria gets into barges and ship and leave our country, is the same problem we are having. Now, what the miners are saying is that before you shut down mining for 6 months, please ensure that there's security, so that you are not just driving legitimate miners away and giving room for bandits who have access to gun to have access to some of this site. So it's still a security question, because for us to be able to guard what we need security. For us to have security in Nigeria, we need security. So the question has always been, what is the capacity of Nigeria to be able to secure Nigerians? And I know that if there's ban on mining for 6 months, it can improve the level of our security if the sites are secured. But do we have enough men to do that? The soldiers that are supposed to protect our territory, they are in Ikorodu there. They are in Ojota here, Mountain Road Block. What are they doing there? Because now the policing system has almost become a joke. So until we have all of these people now in the Niger Delta, do you know that there are, and I want to be very careful, but the truth is that there are waterways that Navy cannot get to. Waterways that have been practically and tactically condoned off. They've been given to private individuals to secure. What does that mean? It means that we do not even believe in the capacity of our men to be able to secure our waterways. It's the same situation that we have. Instead of private security now to be guarding VIP in our community, private security are guarding our assets and infrastructure on our waterways. So it's still a big question of security. And it's my honest hope that we're going to get it right.
Since we're talking about security, I want to talk about a story which is an absurdity in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Typically, when you hear of insecurity, you hear of attacks on security officials, government agencies, but this time around, it's in a church. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, gunmen murder pastor's wife and raise house vehicles in Anambra Church and kill 4 in another community. If you go into the details, the wife of an Anglican church pastor was killed on Sunday morning when gunmen attacked St. Andrew's Church in Isiokwe in Anambra State, southeast Nigeria. Isiokwe is a community in Lilu Town, which is under Ihiala local government area of the state. Reports have it that the attack happened in the early hours of Sunday. One of the residents said the gunmen appeared to have targeted the pastor, identified as Venerable Obiese. He escaped, but the gunmen shot his wife dead and burnt down his house and vehicles. The residents who asked not to be named told they shared this too, but this time around was I'm reading it from the Premium Times. They also burnt church vehicles and other properties. They obtained a video clip recorded after this deadly attack, and the clip showed how the pastor's house was completely burnt down, at least 2 cars and a motorcycle. And I don't know how to feel about this. And there are also reports about the same community where last year, no, it wasn't last year, it was in 2021, where a Labour Party candidate, Obi Oragbasilo, who was a Labour Party candidate in the Anambra State gubernatorial elections, he was kidnapped. Until today, they are yet to see him. We hear also in that same community that there are residents who have fled in the heat of attacks by hoodlums who took over the community in 2021.
I mean, 2021, this is 2025. It keeps popping up. What's the Anambra Police Command
the Anambra State
doing
Police
about
Command,
this?
Yeah, I mean, so far according to the reports here, Tochukwu Ikenga has confirmed the latest church attack. He said the Commissioner of Police in Anambra State has condemned, again, the deadly attack. The Commissioner sympathized with the families of the victims as well as the community and assured the police in the state will track down the attackers.
Our policy system is overwhelmed in Nigeria, and we move from one trouble to the other, and we think that we are able to solve the problem. One of the things that I've said before is that virtually every community now have people who are bought into crime as franchise. And from the report you read now, maybe one of the things that caught my attention there is that nobody is talking this time of Fulani bandit or headsmen. It tells you that it could be something within the area, within the community, within the state. So it's what we have said before. I was really not figured the other day when the IG withdrew men from VIP protection. And I was saying it here, that in Chicago Police Department, they only have 11,000 men.
400.
Yes, men, if you remember.
Yes.
And they are able to partner with the federal agents, and they are able to protect their community. So this underscores the need for us to take community policing very seriously. But we cannot replicate this failure that we have in our policing system. And what do I mean? Replicating system like this kind of welfare that we have, we cannot replicate this system of when you are only strong when you have something to benefit from it. So insecurity has become a challenge. And like the president has said, the state government must rally themselves in a way where they have to think out of the box. If the former governor of Ondo State did not champion the issue of Amotekun, by now it will still be on paper. But Amotekun is not the best of security distinct that we have. But they are doing a lot. And we are hoping that with the start of Amotekun, as time progresses, that they will get things right, and they will get more ammunition, and they will become better, and our community will be safer. But instead of you sitting down and saying, oh, we need a legislation in Abuja that will spell it out expressly, that I need to create state police, you must think outside of the box and know how to rally your community to defend themselves. But they can't do this. Majority of them cannot do this. Why? Because they are example of leadership failure. And you cannot continue to replicate and reproduce leadership failure, and you think people will kill. It's enough. We cannot continue to wish people didn't die in peace to rest in peace, because in actual fact, they are not resting.
That's the word. We can't continue to wish people who didn't die in peace to rest in peace. Yeah. That's really, really sad.
Anyway, I don't know if we could quickly just look at our final paper. There's so many stories on Nigerian Tribune, so many that we can touch on. But let's just, for want of ensuring that we finish the dailies, Daily Trust is our final paper. On the front page of the Daily Trust, 17 agencies scored 0 in efficiency rating according to report. Troops kill bandits, rescue victims in Sokoto. And then the big one, 7 women protesters killed in Adamawa.
So obviously there's been a fight between two communities, and some of the people just felt that the military took side and the women were protesting, and in the process, the report we got is that they opened fire, and 2 of them died instantly, and later on 5 other people, and a lot of people were injured. And it brings the question as to where do we need these men, really? What do we want them to do? You know, this is the same question people were asking when the military, and this is very sarcastic, but I'm going to say it. When the military announced that they took over power in Niger Republic, and Nigeria intervened so quickly, and according to ECOWAS, Nigeria was able to help them restore peace as quickly as possible. That's the duty of ECOWAS. But Nigerians didn't find it funny that if you can restore peace so quickly in Niger Republic, how come you couldn't enter Sambisa Forest? And the truth is that there are explanations. There could be cogent reasons why they cannot do this. But Nigerians did not elect anybody to give reason. They elected people to give results. So there's no amount of reason that we will give until we see the result on the table. Nobody is going to accept that you have done anything. So I'm listening to government. I am saying reason with them. But the truth is that we didn't vote anybody to give reason. We just want the work done. And thank God the president have even come out at a point and said, you gave me this job and I'm going to do it.
Don't feel pity for me.
Don't feel pity for me. So it's the one that gave me the template of any kind of criticism that I extend to him, because he told us not to feel pity for him. What I'm saying in essence is that we shouldn't get to this point of military shooting at people if really we have deployed them to more serious assignment. There shouldn't be a point where military will go and be two fighting. You know, we call it two fighting.
Separate fights.
Yes, you now go there.
To de-escalate fights.
Oh, you remember? You remind me of my pastor.
Pastor Odumeje.
Pastor Odumeje, you want to do what? He said you have this big problem. I still speaking big grammar. I think that's the problem we have now. We have big problem, and our people are going to separate fights.
De-escalate fights. We're almost out of time, but if we can quickly squeeze this in. Court declines Nnamdi Kanu's request for prison transfer. Nnamdi Kanu is seeking to be transferred from the Sokoto Correctional Center to another custodial facility closer to the FCT, and Justice James Omotosho refused the request, stating that Kanu's application moved by Legal Aid Council of Nigerian lawyer Demdo Asan could not be granted by way of an ex parte motion.
Should I be factual? There's nothing that we make them grant our request, because every conversation about Kanu now, the first thing they talk about is national security. And you know, even there was an argument as to when your right as an individual conflict with national security, which one takes the bow. And at every point in time, there's been that conversation that anything that stands side by side with national security must take a bow. So since this conversation revolves around national security, they may continue to apply, but I do not see any of this application pulling through. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
On that note, we wrap up the show.
And you know, we cannot wrap up without me giving a shout out to our virtual audience.
Wait. Are you? It's time up.
Benga, please.
I really wish we can.
Just
I wish we can have 6 more hours.
Chukwemeka says, Dotun, we did not give Tinubu the job, please. Okay. We also have here, he still goes ahead to say, thank you, Benga. How does the foreign reserve hitting an all-time high translate to the ordinary Nigerian? Borrowing more to do what? Pius Amako, he said more votes for bandits as Kanu mobilizes. Okay, I don't know about this one. You know what? We'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. We're out of time. We'll see you again tomorrow, and we'll ensure we'll make more time for our virtual audience and to take your comments. But thank you, Dotun.
And thank you, Mr. Dotun Ojon, for coming back to Lagos.
We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.
Right.